So, hello student, welcome to Google's through science classes. Okay, so already we have completed the third topic in the last video, that is current electricity. Now we will deal with what the next topic of your PUC secondary, that is moving charges and magnetism, or sometimes it is also called as what, magnetic effect of the current. Okay, so we will start with the Hans Borsted experiment. In the previous where the people or the scientists were don't know about the current electricity or the magnetism, they were think that magnetism and the current both are separate phenomena. Okay, there is no relation between them, but Hans Oersted conducted one experiment in that he showed that current and the magnetism are both are interrelated. Wherever there is a current, there must be a magnetism, and wherever there is a magnetism, there can be a current also. Okay, so current and the magnetism both are related to each other. That means if you use the current, pass through the current through the conductor, you will get the magnetism, and by using the magnetism and the conductor, you can produce the current also. Okay, so both are interrelated. Okay, so this is what the things it has proven. Next is what, the magnetic field around the current carrying conductor. Okay, suppose you have this one, this is wire. Okay, and if you pass the current, then it will create the magnetic field around it, and that magnetic field is in the form of what, concentric circles. Okay, if you want to see, then the magnetic field is created like this. Okay, so you can see here, so there are n number of concentric circles are created around this current carrying conductor, and then if the current is flowing in this direction, the magnetic field will be different, and the current is flowing in this direction, then the magnetic field will be different, and that is given by what, a right hand thumb rule. Okay, so this is how the current is passed through the conductor in this direction, and the magnetic field is created. But the direction of the magnetic field is given by the what, right hand thumb rule. Okay, so suppose this is dot in the circle and this is cross in the circle. Dot means what, conductor is placed like this, and current is moving in this direction towards you. Okay, so if you hold this, so thumb you have to hold in the direction of the current, and then curl the remaining finger, so the magnetic field is created in this case is anti-clockwise. It is what, anti-clockwise, as shown in this figure. Okay, next, if the current is moving into the board or in this direction, then represent your thumb in this direction and curl remaining finger, so that will show you what, clockwise direction. Okay, it will clockwise direction. So this is how you get to know in which direction the current is flowing. Dot means outside of the board, the cross means inside the board. Okay, anything, it can be applicable for the what, magnetic field and as well as the electric field also. Okay, next is Biot-Savart law. Okay, unlike the first topic, that is charge, due to the charge, what will be the electric field here? So we use what, Coulomb's law. Here same way, if it is current carrying conductor, maybe in the any shape. Okay, so if the current is flowing at this point, that means from the conductor at some distance, what will be the magnetic field strength, what will be the magnetic field value at that point is given by the what, Biot-Savart law. Okay, so suppose this is the conductor like this. Okay, and here it is a point. So at this point, at a distance of r from the conductor, you have to measure the strength of the magnetic field, and it is given by dB, a small magnetic field, mu naught 4 pi I dl sin theta divided by r square. This is actually general form, and this is a vector form. This is what, vector form. Okay, so remember this vector form also. Okay, sometimes they will ask directly. Now relation between the mu naught, epsilon naught and the c is nothing but the speed of the light. Okay, so we know 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught is 9 into 10 to the power of 9 Newton meter square per Coulomb square, and mu naught upon 4 pi is nothing but the 10 to the power of minus 7 Tesla meter per ampere. Okay, so divide this equation 1 and 2, you will get what, 4 pi will cancel out. So left is what, 1 upon mu naught is equal to what, 9 into 10 to the power of 16. Why 16? Because 10 to the power of minus 7, it will move up, it becomes plus 7. So 9 plus 7, 16. So take the root, you will get what, under root of this mu naught upon mu naught epsilon naught is equal to what, root of this 9 is 3, and root of this 16, 10 to the power of 16 becomes 10 to the power of 8. Now what is this value? Exactly nothing but the speed of the light itself. Okay, so 1 upon, so speed of the light is equal to what, 1 upon under root of mu naught epsilon naught. Sometimes they will ask you a question like, what will be the dimension formula of 1 upon under root of mu naught and epsilon naught? So what will be the dimension formula? It is exactly equal to the what, speed of the light, and speed is nothing but the what, meter per second. So this is what the dimension formula of this quantity, L t raised to minus 1, or sometimes m is 0 here, so m 0. ml t raised to minus 1, because this quantity is nothing but the speed of the light itself. Okay, so next moving towards the what, a magnetic field due to a long straight conductor. Magnetic field due to a long straight conductor. So this is what the infinite long conductor, that means we don't know the exact length, and your job is to find out what is the electric field at this point, what is the electric field at any point from the conductor. So general formula is B is equal to what, mu naught I divided by 4 pi a. Okay, a is nothing but the distance from the conductor, and then sine of phi 1, sine of phi 2. So sine of phi 1 means what, if you consider this point, okay, and if you drop a perpendicular, so this angle becomes phi 1, and at the other end it becomes what, phi 2. Okay, so that is what general form. Now suppose this conductor is infinite, and then that point, which point, the P point lies exactly midpoint here. Okay, so if you take this from the infinity, if you draw the line, it makes what, 90 degree. From the infinity, if you make a line, it will also make the 90 degree. So both phi 1 and phi 2 becomes 90 degree. So sine of 90 and sine of 90 becomes what, 1 plus 1, it becomes what, 2, and 2 divided by 4, you will get what, half. Okay, so this is what the, in this case, so case 1, if the point P lies exactly at the midpoint, that means this is the conductor, okay, exactly midpoint, that point will be lies here, so then the equation will be this one. Okay, next, if the point P lies at the one of the end of the conductor, this is infinite conductor. Okay, so now suppose that point is lies somewhere here at one end of this conductor. Okay, so it makes what, exactly 90 degree, 0 degree, but if you consider this one, it makes what, 90 degree. So phi 1 will be 90 degree and phi 2 will be 0 degree. Okay, so if you place here phi 1 is 90 degree, phi 2 is 0 degree, then automatically you will get what, mu naught phi divided by 4 pi a. Okay, so this is the thing. Now suppose if the conductor has a finite length, we know this is the total length of the conductor. These two cases are for the infinite length conductor. Okay, but third case is what, finite length, having a length L. Okay, and that point is lies exactly at the center of this conductor. Okay, so it makes angle phi 1, it makes angle phi 2. Okay, so it doesn't matter. So now if you solve this in this equation, place it, you will get mu naught I L divided by 2 pi a under root of 4a square plus L square, under root of 4a square plus L square. So remember this formula, if the conductor is a finite length, okay, and variation, that means if this is the conductor and as you move away from this conductor, the magnetic field goes on decreases, so this is what the graph you will get, magnetic field on the y-axis, and along the x-axis you will have a distance. So as the distance increases, magnetic field goes on decreases. So remember this graph for the straight conductor. Okay, next, a magnetic field due to a circular current loop, Okay, so now suppose this is a current carrying loop. Okay, this is a wire in the form of circle. Now if you pass the current, maybe clockwise or maybe anti-clockwise, doesn't matter. Okay, so what will be the magnetic field at the center of the coil? Okay, at a certain distance x from the center. Okay, so it is given by the what, mu naught I a square, a is nothing but the radius of this. Okay, and then under divided by 2 into bracket r square plus a square raised to 3 by 2, where r is nothing but the distance from that particular center to that point. Okay, or a is nothing but the radius, here is the diagram, it is already drawn. Okay, so this is diameter and this is what the distance, actually you have to take it r because I have taken the r here. Okay, so next, now at the center of the coil, so if this P point lies exactly at the center, that means P point somewhere here at a distance of r. Now the P point lies exactly at the center, r becomes 0. When r becomes 0, automatically your equation becomes B is equal to what, mu naught I n divided by 2a. Actually n is nothing but the number of turns. If it is 1 turn, 1, 2 turns, 2. Okay, that's why you have to take n also. If it is single turn, then it becomes mu naught I divided by 2a itself. Okay, at the center. So remember that formula. Next, at the far away from the center of the coil, that means that point P is very far away. Okay, then A neglected, then A is very less than the what, R. So A can be neglected, and you neglect this A in this equation, automatically your equation will be what, mu naught NIA divided by 2R square, where A is nothing but the area of the coil. Okay, so next, at the distance r is equal to a. Okay, so whatever the radius is there, at the same distance point P is there, then what will be the magnetic field? Mu naught is equal to what, NIA square divided by 2 raised to 5 by 2 multiply by multiply by r, it is multiply by r, multiply by what, r. Okay, so this is the equation. Let me see whether it is multiplied by mu naught n i, mu naught n i, and this becomes a itself. Okay, so make it correction. Okay, so whatever the radius is there at the same distance from the center of the coil, there is what, a point P. So at that point P, mu naught n I a divided by n I divided by 2 raised to 5 by 2 multiplied by a. Okay, so this is what the equation. Now if you consider the B axial, this is what the magnetic field along the axial, and this is the magnetic field at the center. Okay, so what is the ratio? B center divided by B axial. Okay, so you will get this equation. Okay, a to the power of third, and then into bracket a square plus r square raised to 3 by 2. Okay, so remember this equation. This is what the relation between magnetic field at the center and magnetic field at the what, axial point. Okay, so next is, unlike the variation of the magnetic field as a distance for the conductor, there is what, variation of the magnetic field with r from the center of the coil. If you take the coil, magnetic field at the center of the coil is maximum, and as we move away from the coil, the magnetic field goes on decreases, maybe this side or maybe this side. So you will get this graph. As the r increases, magnetic field goes on decreases, and at the center of the coil, maximum magnetic field. If this side, if you move away from the coil, the magnetic field goes on decreases. Okay, so remember this graph also. Okay, so these are the some basic concept regarding the moving charges and magnetism. Okay, I hope you understand it well. Just pause the video and see it once again. Follow the each and every equation, the meaning of the every term. Okay, and then if you did not understand, see it once again, then definitely you will come to know. Okay. Okay student, moving towards the next part of the moving charges and magnetism topic, we have the Ampere circuited law. Okay, so Ampere circuited law is defined as what, for the what, closed integral, the product of the magnetic field and the current element is equal to what, mu naught times I, or closed integral of BDL is equal to what, mu naught times I. Okay, so remember this formula, because unlike the first chapter, that is electric charges and field, you have the Gauss law. Same way, sometimes it is very difficult to calculate the magnetic field due to the what, a complex figure or complex maybe wire. Okay, it will not in the form of square, it is not in the form of circle. Okay, it will be a form of anything. Okay, so at that time, how to calculate the magnetic field at particular point due to that particular complex figure is given by the what, Ampere circuited law. Okay, and then by using the Ampere circuited law, we have calculated the solenoid and the toroid, magnetic field for the solenoid and magnetic field for the toroid. Solenoid is nothing but the simply spring like structure. Okay, and if you bend in this form, circle form, it will act as a what, toroid. Okay, so both are having the same, but one is in the cylindrical form, one is in the circular form. The magnetic field due to the solenoid at any point inside the solenoid, outside the solenoid it is 0, but inside the solenoid is mu naught times Ni, where N is nothing but the number of turns per unit length. Okay, and then same for the toroid. So both are having the same equation, toroid and solenoid. And then for the solenoid, if this is the solenoid, okay, inside at any point the magnetic field is this much, but at it ends is given by the what, mu naught half mu naught times Ni. Okay, so remember this formula at the end of the solenoid, that means here and here. Okay, so next is a force on the charged particle placed in the magnetic field. Now suppose in this room there is a magnetic field and one charged particle is moving. Okay, so the charged particle is moving means what, it creates the magnetic field, because the moving charges create a magnetic field, and that magnetic field interact with this already present magnetic field, and it will get a force or deflected. So by which force, how much force is deflected? F is equal to what, QVB sin theta, where Q is nothing but the charge, V is nothing but the velocity of the charged particle, B is nothing but the magnetic field, and sin theta or theta angle is nothing but the at what angle the charged particle is entering into the magnetic field. Suppose this magnetic field is in this direction, okay, and the charged particle is entering in this direction. So this will be angle between the velocity of the charged particle and the magnetic field. Okay, so that is sin theta. And when the force will be maximum, when sin theta is equal to 1 at 90 degree, and when the force will be minimum or 0 degree or maybe 180 degree. Okay, So next is a unit of the magnetic field. A unit of the magnetic field is Tesla. Okay, and the dimension formula of the magnetic field is m t raised to -2 ampere per, okay, per ampere. Okay, and there is what one more thing, that is that unit is 1 Gauss. 1 Gauss is equal to what? 10 to the power of -4 Tesla actually. 1 Gauss is equal to what? 10 to the power of -4 Tesla. So remember that one. Gauss is the what? Another unit, and Tesla is the what? SI unit of the magnetic field. Next, there is what? Lorentz force. So Lorentz force means what? Whenever the charged particle, maybe electron, proton, it is moving in the region where the both magnetic field and as well as electric field is present, then due to the electric field this much force is applied. Okay, and due to the magnetic field this much force is applied. Now Lorentz force is nothing but the total force applied on the charged particle when it is moving in the electric field as well as the magnetic field, and is given by F is equal to what? Q into bracket V into V plus E. You have to just add these two equations. Okay, so this is the Lorentz force. Next is motion of the charged particle in the uniform magnetic field. Now suppose charged particle is entering in this room where the magnetic field is present. Now if it is moving, then what will happen? The force will be applied. Okay, and then due to that force the charged particle will get deflected. Okay, and due to the deflection the charged particle will move in the circular path of certain radius r. Okay, and that radius is given by what? mv divided by qb. Okay, and then mv is nothing but the momentum itself. Okay, mv, and momentum in terms of kinetic energy it is 2mk. So instead of mv you can write it down under root of 2mk divided by qb. That means if the mass is more, radius will be more. If the charge is less, radius will be less. So remember what quantity, if we increase or decrease, the r will be affected. Okay, if I pass proton and the electrons, so which particle will get more radius? Of course proton will has a more radius, because mass of the proton is more, hence the radius is more. Mass of the electron is less, hence the radius is what? Smaller one. Okay, so this is the thing. Next is there is a what? Okay, now if the charged particle is moving in the circle, that means it complete one round in one particular time, and that time is known as what? Time period, and it is given by what? 2 pi m divided by qb. 2 pi m divided by qb. Okay, so remember this time period formula. Then frequency will be what? How many circles or how many rounds it will make in 1 second. So reciprocal of the time period, that will be give you what? qb upon 2 pi m. qb upon 2 pi m, that is frequency. Next is velocity selector formula is there. So very important. So velocity selector. So, okay, so in this room suppose there is what? Region where the electric field and the magnetic field both are present. Now a charged particle is entering. Now at what velocity should I project through this charged particle so that it will not deflected anywhere? That means the force due to the electric field and force due to the magnetic field must be 0. Okay, so if you equate these two equations, you will get definitely velocity is equal to what? E by b. And whatever the value you will get at that velocity, if you project any charged particle, it will move in a straight line without deflecting here and there. Okay, so this is known as what? A velocity selector. If the velocity is less than this selector, then the definitely charged particle is going to be deflected. Okay, next cyclotron. Okay, you know very well cyclotron is a device which accelerates the charged particle, and it works on the principle of what? Lorentz force. Whenever the charged particle enter into the magnetic field or electric field, it will get deflected and move in the circular path. So by that theory the cyclotron is constructed. So in the cyclotron the charged particle is moving in the circle, and it will gain maximum energy or kinetic energy, and that kinetic energy is given by maximum kinetic energy at particular radius r naught, q square b square r naught square divided by 2m, where r naught is nothing but the velocity or the radius, final radius, that means outermost radius of this charged particle, where it gives the maximum kinetic energy. Okay, so remember this formula. Next is force on the current carrying conductors, that means force on the current carrying conductor when it is placed in the magnetic field. Now suppose this is a conductor, okay, and there is what? Magnetic field here. If you place it here and pass the current, so due to this magnetic field is created, and that magnetic field, this magnetic field will interact, and this conductor will deflect maybe in this side or that side. So that force is given by what? I b L sin theta. I current through the conductor, B magnetic field surrounding this conductor, L length of the conductor. Okay, so when the force is maximum, mean theta is equal to 90 degrees. Suppose magnetic field is in this direction, and if you place the current like this, okay, so what is the angle between them? 90 degree. So on this condition it will experience the maximum force. Okay, so it will deflect more. And when the force is minimum, when theta is equal to 0 degree or 180 degree. Okay, suppose conductor is, magnetic field is in this direction, and if you place the conductor like this, no force is available or no force is acting on this conductor. Okay, doesn't matter if you pass the current in this direction or maybe in this direction, correct? So that's why 0 degree or 180 degree. Next is force between the two parallel conductors. Okay, force between the two parallel conductors. Now suppose these are the what, two parallel conductors. Okay, here are the two parallel conductors. If you pass the current and the distance between them is what, d, and if you pass the current both the conductors in the same direction or maybe opposite direction, whatever may be, so the force of attraction between them is given by F divided by L. L is nothing but the length of the each conductor, mu naught times I1 I2 divided by 2 pi d, where F force, length of the conductor, mu naught constant, I1 current through the first conductor, I2 current through the second conductor, d is nothing but the distance between them. Okay, now there are two cases. In one case, in both the conductors the direction of the current is same. Okay, then the two conductors will start attracting each other. The two conductors will start attracting each other. So it is nothing but the parallel case. Okay, parallel conductors carrying the same direction current. Okay, so in this case the conductor will start attracting. Suppose in one conductor the current is opposite. Okay, upward and downward. Then they will repel each other. The conductors will repel each other. Okay, so remember these two condition or cases. Next is torque experienced by the current loop. Okay, suppose this is the any loop, maybe square or maybe it may be circle. If you place in the magnetic field and just pass the current, okay, so it will deflect, it will start rotating. So why it is rotating? Because torque is applying. Okay, and that torque is given by the what? Torque is equal to what? NIAB sin theta. Okay, N is nothing but the number of turns, I is nothing but the current through the conductor, A is nothing but the area of the cross section, and B is nothing but what? A magnetic field in which this loop is placed. Okay, and then if you take M, okay, so M is replaced with I into A. M is nothing but the magnetic moment, that is nothing but the current multiplied by area square. So magnetic moment is nothing but the I into A. So what will be the unit? Ampere meter square, because I is current and A is nothing but the area, so ampere meter square. So remember this M quantity, magnetic moment. Okay, and the magnetic moment is always pointing from the what? South pole to north. Unlike the electric dipole moment, negative charge to positive charge, same way magnetic dipole always point from the what? South to north. Okay, direction. And if you place this, you will get what? Torque is equal to what? MB sin theta. If there are n terms, then it becomes what? NMB sin theta. Okay, when the torque is maximum, when theta is equal to 90 degree, and when the torque is minimum, when theta is equal to what? 0 degree. Okay. So next is what? Last part of this topic is moving coil galvanometer. Okay, and moving coil galvanometer has a device which measures or detect the charge or detect the current in the circuit. Okay, so in the moving coil galvanometer there is what? One coil is placed. Okay, one rectangular coil is wind around the what? Cylindrical iron core, and due to the passing of the current it will start deflecting. So the torque, restoring torque, is directly proportional to what? Angle at which it is rotating. If you remove that proportionality constant, you will get the Ka. K is nothing but the torsional constant. Actually it is torsional constant of the galvanometer. Okay, and if you solve this, you will get what? This angular deflection, that means how much that is deflected. It is nothing but the NBA divided by K multiplied by R. That means what? If more is the current, more is the deflection. More is the current, more is the deflection. So remember this equation. Next is current sensitivity of the galvanometer. So current sensitivity is nothing but the deflection per unit current. So if you place this alpha through this equation, I will get cancelled out. So NBA divided by K. Okay, so that means current sensitivity does not depend on the what? Current passes through the conductor. Okay, next, same voltage sensitivity. So voltage sensitivity is equal to what? Alpha divided by V, but V is equal to what? IR. And now if you place the A, so alpha, you will get what? I will cancel out. So NBA divided by K into R. Okay, now on which factors the sensitivity of the galvanometer depends? Okay, first it depends on the number of turns. Okay, sensitivity, magnetic field, area of the cross section, and the torsional constant. On these factors the sensitivity, both voltage and the current sensitivity, depends. Okay, next is, and voltage sensitivity also depends on the resistance of the coil. Okay, so it is not depends on the current, but current voltage sensitivity depends on the resistance. Next is galvanometer to ammeter. How to convert the galvanometer into ammeter? By connecting the small resistance. That resistance is known as what? A shunt resistance. Okay, and that value is given by, when you convert galvanometer to ammeter, S is equal to what? IgG divided by I minus Ig. Ig is nothing but the current flowing through the galvanometer. G is nothing but the resistance of the galvanometer. I is nothing but the range. Okay, so they will give you range 0 to 4 ampere something. So 4 is nothing but the value of I, 0 to 4 ampere. Okay, and Ig is nothing but the current through the galvanometer. Now ideal ammeter has a zero resistance. So remember this statement, ideal ammeter has a zero resistance. Okay, sometimes they ask. Next, galvanometer to voltmeter. Okay, galvanometer to voltmeter. So in this case the shunt resistance is connected parallel, and in this case the shunt resistance is connected in series. So remember, just recall those both the diagrams, and see how the S is connected. Okay, next is for the conversion of the galvanometer to voltmeter, S is equal to what? V divided by Ig minus of G. V is nothing but that range particular, Ig is nothing but the current through the galvanometer, G is nothing but the resistance of the galvanometer. Okay, and here also ideal voltmeter has a infinite resistance. So remember these two statements both are important, and these two equations both are important. And how galvanometer connected ammeter? By connecting the shunt resistance in parallel with galvanometer, and here you have to connect the shunt resistance in series with galvanometer. Okay, series with galvanometer, and here parallel with galvanometer. So remember all these formulas. Okay, so just pause the video or take a screenshot and revise all the equations. Okay, especially the force, Lorentz force, and then these things, these three equations. Okay, and the velocity selector is also important, and this one is also okay. I hope you are understand this well. Okay, so just pause the video and see it. Now we will try to solve some numericals. Okay, so this is what all about the theory of the moving charges and magnetism. Okay, so we will now go for the some few numericals. So now we will try to solve some numericals. Okay, so read the first one. In a circular coil of A of radius R. Okay, so there is what? Coil A, and whose radius is R, and through that coil current is I is flowing. Okay, next another coil of B has a radius 2R, and the current through that coil is 2I. Okay, so is flowing. Then the ratio of the magnetic field BA and BB. Okay, so what will be the ratio of these two produced by them at the center? Okay, so these are the what option. So there is what? One coil of radius R, and the current is I, and there is what? Another coil of radius 2R, and the current through is what? 2 times I. So what will be the ratio of BA, magnetic field at the center of this coil, and then magnetic field at the center of this coil? Okay, so we already know magnetic field at the center of the coil is mu naught times I, okay, divided by what? 2A, and A is nothing but the radius. So here radius is what? R. Same apply this equation for this coil also. So mu naught times, but I is nothing but the 2 times of I divided by what? 2, but the radius is how much? It becomes 2R. So 2 get cancelled out. So B you will get what? Mu naught times I divided by 2R. Okay, now equation ratio BA divided by BB is equal to what? This divided by this. So both are same almost. Okay, if you divide these two, you will get what? 1 itself. Okay, so option A is correct. Option A is correct. Okay, so just pause the video and see it. Now moving towards the next one. It is also for the what? Circular coil. A magnetic field due to a current carrying the circular loop of radius 3 cm. Okay, at radius 3 cm at a point on the axis of at a distance of 4 cm from the center is 54 micro Tesla. What will be the magnetic field at the center of the loop? Okay, so there is what? One coil like this, and whose radius is what? 3 cm, and from the center at 4 cm there is what? Point, and at that point magnetic field is this much. Then what will be the magnetic field strength at center of the coil? Okay, so we know the equation is what? B axial is equal to what? Mu naught times R square. Okay, or you can say make it A square divided by 2 A square plus, okay, A square plus x square raised to 3 by 2. Okay, and then B at the center is equal to what? Mu naught times I divided by what? 2A divided by 2A. Okay, so to calculate the center we need I, but we don't know the I. Okay, so just divide these two equation. So B center divided by B axial, B center divided by B axial. Okay, so B center divided by B axial. So if you divide this mu naught I, and then 2 will cancel out, so left is what? Only a square plus x square raised to 3 by 2 divided by what? A cube. Okay, a square multiplied by a, you will get what? A cube. Already this formula is given while explaining the theoretical part. Okay, and this can be written as, okay, so just write it down. It becomes a square. Okay, so a square cancel out, so 1 plus it becomes what? X square a square raised to 3 by 2. Okay, so just convert in the simple form. Okay, so know the mathematics and calculate here. Therefore B center divided by B axial is equal to what? Okay, 1 plus what is the x? X is nothing but the distance, that is 4 centimeter, correct? It becomes what? X is equal to what? 4 centimeter. So it becomes x square. So it is 4 the whole square divided by a is nothing but the 3 the whole square raised to 3 by 2. Okay, and solve this, you will get 1 plus, okay, 4 square becomes 16 and 3 square becomes 9, and this is again 3 by 2. Okay, so therefore B center divided by B axial is equal to what? Okay, so multiply this, you will get what? 25 divided by 9, 3 by 2. Okay, 3 by 2. Okay, then it can be written as cube root, it can be written as square root of 25 by 3 the whole cube. Okay, therefore B center divided by B axial is equal to what? Square root of this 25 and 9 becomes what? 5 by 3, and then cube of this, so it becomes what? 125 multiplied by 27. Okay, therefore B center is equal to what? 125 multiplied by 27, and this B axial will move that side. So B axial is given how much? 54 micro Tesla. So 54 micro Tesla. So 27 2s are 54, and 125 multiplied by 2, it becomes what? 250 micro Tesla. 250 micro Tesla. Okay, so sometimes you have to use short tricks like this. Okay, so remember this equation, very important. Okay, so option is correct. Next is the two concentric coils. Okay, so just pause the video and see the solution. So next is two concentric coils. Okay, that means two coils are there, their centers are same, so one coil is placed like this and another coil is placed like this, perpendicular to each other, having a common center, Okay, now to each there is what? Current of 3 ampere and 4 ampere is flowing. Maybe through this coil it is 3 ampere and through this coil it is 4 ampere current is flowing. Okay, in each coil. Then the magnetic field at the center of the coil where mu naught is given. So what will be the magnetic field at center of the coil? Okay, so now if the current is flowing in this direction, okay, so you have the magnetic field for this coil is in this direction. So B, I will mention this as a coil 1 and this as a coil 2. So it is B1. Okay, and due to this, the coil which is horizontally placed, the magnetic field is upward direction. So that is nothing but the B2. Okay, so you have the two vectors B1 and B2. So resultant will be somewhere here. So for coil 1, so B1 is equal to what? Mu naught times I divided by what? Divided by 2R. Okay, but radius is given. I think radius is 2 pi centimeter. So B1 is equal to what? Mu naught is 4 pi 10 to the power of minus 7. I is nothing but the in B1. Okay, so you can take it as 4 ampere, and then 2R is 2 pi into 10 to the power of minus 2. Why minus 2? Because it is given in centimeter, you have to take it in meter. Okay, so if you solve this, you will get 2 multiplied by 2 and this 4 will cancel out, pi will cancel out. Okay, and this 10 to the power of minus 2 will move up, it becomes what? 4 into 10 to the power of minus 5 Tesla only left. Okay, then B2 is also what? Mu naught I divided by what? 2R for the second coil. So mu naught is 4 pi 10 to the power of minus 7 multiplied by I is 4 ampere. Sorry, for the second coil is 3 ampere, and then this 2 and then 2 pi into 10 to the power of minus 2 itself. So this is 4 pi and then 4 pi cancel out. Okay, so left is what? 3 into 10 to the power of minus 5 Tesla. So this is what the B1 and B2. Now B1 and B2 are the two vectors. So resultant is what? This B you have to calculate. So resultant is nothing but the under root of B1 square plus B2 the whole square plus 2 B1 B2 cos theta is there, but cos theta is equal to what? 90 degree. So cos of 90 becomes 0. Hence you will get only this equation. So if you place all the value, therefore B is equal to what? Under root of B1 square. So this square it becomes what? 16 into 10 to the power of minus 10 plus B2 square. Okay, it becomes 9 into 10 to the power of minus 10. Okay, so just take this. So 16 plus 9 it becomes 25 10 to the power of minus 10. So take the root. So you will get what? 5 into 10 to the power of minus 5 Tesla. 5 into 10 to the power of minus 5 Tesla. So answer is C. C answer is correct. Okay, next, the time period of the charged particle under the circular motion in a uniform magnetic field is independent of, that means T is does not depend on which parameter or which quantity. So you can use this equation. Time period of the charged particle is given by what? T is equal to 2 pi m divided by qb. Okay, 2 pi m divided by qb, correct? So now time period depends on the mass, depend on the charge, depend on the magnetic field. So now we can see here options are speed, mass, charge and the magnetic induction. Magnetic induction means what? B itself. Okay, so all the parameters are there, mass, charge and q, on which the time period depends. So induction is there, charge is there, mass is there, but speed in this equation there is no velocity. There is no velocity. Okay, if it is getting bright, then you can just adjust your brightness, correct? Okay, so you can see here the time period does not depend on the speed, because this equation does not contain any speed or the velocity term. Okay, so option A is correct. Okay, so sometimes such a directly questions will be asked. Next is a force acting on the conductor of length 5 centimeter carrying a current of 8 ampere, kept perpendicular to the magnetic field of 1.5 Tesla. So length is given, I is given and the magnetic field is given. You have to just find out the what? Force. You have to just find out force. Okay, so it is nothing but the force on the current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field, on the current carrying conductor placed in the magnetic field. So we know force is equal to what? IBL sin theta. Therefore F is equal to what? I is current is given 8 ampere. So 8. B is magnetic field is 1.5 multiplied by L is 5 centimeter, 5 into 10 to the power of minus 2, and it is placed perpendicular. So perpendicular means what? 90 degrees. So sin of 90 becomes 1 here. So multiply by 1. So F is equal to what? 8 multiply by, you can make it 1.5 as 3 by 2 multiply by what? 5 10 to the power of minus 2. Therefore F is equal to what? 2 4s are 8. Okay, 4 into 3 12, or you can say becomes 60 into 10 to the power of minus 2. Okay, and IBL sin theta. Okay, 1 Tesla, force, okay, 60 Newton, length of 5 meter, 5 centimeter, sorry, IBL sin theta, 3 by 2, okay, centimeter. Okay, let it be, don't take it in minus 2, because you have to calculate in Newton. I think it should be in meter, it should be in meter. So if it is in meter, then place all the value, you will get 2 4s, and then this is value is nothing but the 60 Newton itself. Okay, so option B is correct. Next is cyclotron is used to accelerate. Okay, so cyclotron is a device which used to accelerate the charged particle. Does it accelerate the electron, neutron, positive charge and the negative charge? Okay, about the neutron, it will not accelerate the neutral particle, it will accelerate only charged particle, but that too only positive ions, no negative ions are accelerated in the cyclotron, only positive ions are accelerated like protons, alpha particle, like that. Okay, so option C C is correct. Okay, so just pause the video and see it once again, or rewind this video, see all the solutions one time. Okay. Moving towards the question number 7th. Okay, proton, deuteron, and the alpha particles. Okay, of the same kinetic energy. So the given thing is what? All are having the same kinetic energy, moving in a circular path in a uniform magnetic field. The radius of the proton, deuteron, and the alpha particles are respectively Rp, Rd, and R alpha. Okay, so which of the following is correct? Which of the following is correct? Okay, so maybe this is what for the proton, okay, and this is what deuteron, and this is alpha particle, correct? So all are having the same kinetic energy, all are having the same kinetic energy. Now the question is, what will be the radius of proton, and what will be the radius of deuteron, and then what will be the radius of alpha particle? So what is the relation between them, and which of the option is correct? Okay, so first of all, we know the equation which relates the kinetic energy for the radius. Okay, so we know R is equal to what? Under root of 2mk divided by what? QB itself. Okay, where the proton mass is m, charge is q. For the deuteron, mass is 2 times of the proton, but charge is same, that of the proton. But for the alpha particle, mass is 4 times that of the proton, and charge is 2 times that of the what? Proton, correct? So now this equation is for the what? Proton. Okay, now for the deuteron, it becomes what? Under root of, okay, not only numerator, so under root of what? 2mk, but m is here, for the proton is 2 times m, so 2 times m multiplied by this 2, you will get with 4mk divided by what? QB. Q is same for the proton. Okay, and then so deuteron. Next, if you apply this for the what? Alpha particle, so R alpha is equal to what? Under root of 2mk. So m is how much? 4 times m. So 4 times m multiplied by 2, you will get what? 8 times mk divided by what? QB. So q is how much? 2 times of q divided by p. Okay, so just try to solve this. So proton, you have how much? It becomes root of 2mk divided by QB, and for the deuteron particle, so it can be written as, take out the 2, sorry, it becomes 2 into 2, 4. So almost, okay, so almost you will get root 2 times. Okay, so 2 into 2, you will get the 4. Okay, the charge will be the same for the deuteron, so 2 into 2, 4. Okay, so it is nothing but you can have root 2 times. Okay, so multiply this here, you will get around 2mk divided by what? QB. So let it be here, but now you can consider here, this is nothing but what? This is almost root 2 times radius of the proton itself, radius of the proton. Okay, next for the alpha particle, take this one. Okay, so it is nothing but the root 2 mk, sorry, not root 2 mk. So this 2, you can take it in under root, it becomes what? 4. So it can be written as 8 mk divided by what? Under root of, so okay, I will take it under root, it becomes what? 4, and okay, so let it be only under root 4. Okay, and then multiply by this QB as it is, that is outside. Okay, so 4 2s are 8, so it becomes, you will get same thing. So it becomes what? 2mk divided by what? QB divided by QB. Now you can see here, radius of the proton is this much, radius of the alpha particle is this much. So both are having the same equation. It means what? Radius of the alpha particle is exactly equal to what? Radius of the proton. Okay, radius of the what? Proton. But you can see here, the radius of the deuteron is 2 times, root 2 times the radius of the proton. That means radius of the deuteron is larger compared to the what? These both the things. So you can make this equation, R alpha is equal to what? R proton is much less than the what? R deuteron. So this is what the relation. So option B will be correct. Option B will be correct. So remember, for alpha particle and for the proton, the radius will be the same. Radius will be same. Okay. So just pause the video and just note down the solution. Next one, we will solve the problem number 8. Okay, problem number 8. So two long parallel wire P and Q. So two long parallel wire P and Q. Okay, and their distance between them is how much? 5 centimeter is given. Are held perpendicular to the plane of the paper with the distance 5 centimeter between them. Okay, if P and Q carries a current 2.5 ampere, so here it is 2.5 ampere and here it is 5 ampere. Okay, then the same direction, both the currents are in the same direction. Then magnetic field at the halfway between the two wires. So what is the magnetic field between the halfway? Halfway means what? 2.5 centimeter from this side and 2.5 centimeter from this side, correct? So we know magnetic field due to a long wire is given by mu is equal to what? Mu naught I divided by 2 pi d, 2 pi d, and d is nothing but the distance from that conductor, therefore B. So apply this equation for both the conductors. So I will apply this conductor for BP. So it is for this conductor. So mu naught, okay, and then I divided by what? 2 pi d. So mu naught I is how much? You can have in this conductor it is 2.5 divided by 2 pi d is again 2.5. Okay, so BQ for the conductor Q. So mu naught I is 5 ampere and divided by 2.5 and then 2.5. Okay, so why 2.5? From the distance from this conductor, the midpoint is located at distance of 2.5 here and 2.5 here. Okay, but if both the conductors are having the same magnetic field, so if this will be clockwise, that means inside the board, and this will be outside the board. So one vector is pointing outside and one vector is pointing inside. So you can make it minus. So which one is the bigger? Okay, so just write it down here. 5 2s are, it will cancel out. So mu naught upon 2 pi will be left, and here it is 2 mu naught upon 2 pi will be left. So here at this midpoint, one vector will pointing here and one vector is pointing at this side. So it may be B2 and this will be B1. So net magnetic field is nothing but what? B2 minus B1. Okay, so B2 is how much? 2 times, okay, 2 times mu naught upon 2 times minus mu naught upon 2 pi. Okay, so take out the mu naught upon 2 pi common, in bracket 2 minus 1 will be left. And what about the 2 minus 1? 1. So final answer is mu naught upon 2 pi. So this is what the net magnetic field. Okay, so option C is correct. Option C is correct. Okay, so just pause the video and just note it down. Okay. Next one. So problem number 9th. Okay, a charged particle is moving in the uniform magnetic field in a circular path, okay, of radius r. When the energy of the particle is double, the new radius will be. Okay, so the charged particle is moving in the radius r, okay, and then capital R. The kinetic energy is k. Okay, now suppose if the kinetic energy is double, that means 2k, what will be the new radius of this circular path? Okay, it is not going to be same. So we can solve it by, okay, so radius is equal to what? Under root of 2mk divided by qb. So q is constant, b is constant, m is also constant. It means what? Radius is directly proportional to what? Kinetic energy. Okay, so take this equation. R is directly proportional to root k, and the new radius will be directly proportional to what? 2k twice. Okay, so equation 1, equation 2. So equation 2 divided by 1, r dash divided by r is equal to what? This divided by this. So kk will cancel out. So it becomes what? Root 2 will be left. Therefore new radius is equal to what? Root 2 times r. New radius will be root 2 times r. Okay, so option A option is correct. Okay, so you have to take just two equations. Okay, because from this equation mass will be same, charge will be same, and the magnetic field will be same. So r is directly proportional to what? K, because k is only changing. Okay, not mass, not charge, and not magnetic field. If you change the k, then what will be the value of the new radius? So make this equation 1, make this equation 2, divide these two equations, you will get this, and the new radius will be what? Root 2 times r. Okay, next one, we will take this. Okay, so 11th one, the resistance of an ideal voltmeter is, okay, resistance of an ideal voltmeter is 0, infinite, 100 ohm or 5 ohm. Already told you while teaching gallon meter, so it becomes what? Almost infinite. And for the ideal ammeter it is 0. Ideal ammeter it is 0, but for an ideal voltmeter it is infinite. So remember. Okay. So next one. Take the question number 10. A proton and the alpha particle following the same circular path in a magnetic field, their kinetic energies are in the ratio. Okay, so we know when kinetic energy is given by what? Half q square b square r square divided by m. Okay, there here b and r is same. B and r is same, and of course okay, mass will be the different. Okay, so here b and r will be same, because here it is written proton and the alpha particle follow the same circular path. Same circular path means what? If the magnetic field is same, then r will be same. Okay, so there is no change in the b and r. Then what will be the ratio of their kinetic energy? It means what? Kinetic energy for the alpha particle, kinetic energy for the proton is equal to what? Half q square b square, okay, it becomes r square divided by m. Okay, and for the alpha particles, half, but alpha particles, for the alpha particle charge is how much? It is 2 times of q, it becomes what? 4 times of q square, and the magnetic field will be same, radius will be the same, plus mass is how much? 4 times of m. Okay, so 4 will cancel out. Okay, so k alpha is equal to what? Again q square b square r square divided by m. Okay, so make this equation 1, make this equation 2. So here it is half. So ratio of the what? Kinetic energy in their ratio. So kinetic energy for the proton, kinetic energy for the alpha particle is equal to what? This divided by this. So both are almost same. So it is nothing but what? 1. Okay, or 1:1 itself. Okay, so option D is correct. Option D is correct. Okay, so next, this equation came from the what? Cyclotron. Okay, so use that equation. Okay, next one, the last problem, that is 12th, problem number 12. A circular loop of area is given 0.01 meter square, and which carries a current of 10 ampere, that is nothing but I, is held perpendicular. So theta is equal to what here? 90 degree in the magnetic field. B is equal to what? 0.1 Tesla. The torque acting on the loop, so torque is given by what? NIAB sin theta. Okay, so torque is equal to what? N, single loop 1, I is 10 ampere, area is 0.01 multiplied by 0.0, and sin theta becomes 1. Okay, so torque is equal to what? If you multiply this 10, okay, so this and this will cancel out, because 0.1 is nothing but 1 upon 10. So 10 divided by, you will get 10, cancel out. So left is what? 0.01 Newton meter, because torque is nothing but the Newton meter. So option 0.01 C option is correct. Okay, so just pause the video or rewind this video to see all the solution once again. Okay, whenever you feel like didn't understand anything, just rewind that video, okay, or rewind that solution and see it once again. Okay.
I'm an icon, man. I'm a girl about a 10. I should fuck her in a Benz.